What are you supposed to do? Not hand the ball off to Emmitt Smith?
Yeah, come on.
Okay, so I'm supposed to be like pissed off that we're got Deuces back here doing his absolute thing, because we talk about that with Tom Brady. I think that was the big thing with Tom Brady is like he was a team guy, whatever it takes to win. Whatever it takes to win. I will absolutely do it. Took less money far before everybody else started doing it, started doing salary cap, all that stuff. And then he just won. And they were like, well, you know, he would take the same shit from Belichick that everybody else would take. It's like that's a trait. Not everybody has that. That is a bonus to have that type of humility.
No doubt.
Feels like Patrick Mahomes seemingly has it as well. Have you seen the quotes about him and the new quarterback contracts and how he said, I'd rather just win? They're potentially the first team to win 3 straight. Obviously, you understand how that world is and how hard that would potentially be. Feels like the next superstar, though, has the same qualities as all the greats of the past, right? Doesn't it feel like that with him?
Yeah, it does. And not because he's done it already. He's already, I feel that he's left some money on the table, knowing that he's going to have better players around him as a result of that. And obviously it's worked for them. And they do a good job of continuing to restock the shelves and bring in good players. And of course, Andy Reid, it's what they have going in Kansas City is special. And when you have a quarterback who's obviously as talented as he is, but yet as unselfish as he is, then it gives yourself a chance. And, you know, another guy that probably doesn't get talked about in that same light because he hasn't had the same success in the postseason is a guy who I'm very fond of right here in Dallas, and that's Dak Prescott. He, you know, what I respect so much about Dak, one is he's a great leader. He's a great person, but he's an old school guy in that he doesn't care about anything but winning. And it frustrates him beyond imagination that they haven't had more success in the postseason. And it's the only thing that's keeping him from really being mentioned with Pat Mahomes and some of the other greats.
I would love to see, you know, how Dak responds to everything that is said about him. If he is only determined and driven by winning whenever they lose, because it gets so loud. So loud. And it's always like, you know, Stephen A. obviously and the Dallas Cowboys fans have the relation that he has, and he's had, you know, the highest rated television show in sports for like the last 11 years. One of his big angles, one of his actual, like one of his things is like, Dak's going to blow it. Dak's going to blow it. So Dak works his ass off just driven by winning only, and all he hears all year is he's going to blow it. Think about the amount of like, fuck you Dak has to have for everybody then. And then for it not to work out again and again, what if he breaks through, huh? What if Dak Prescott breaks through? Feels like it's a lame duck year down there though, doesn't it? Hey.
Well, it does.
Doesn't it?
If he breaks through this year, I mean, I do believe he's going to be the first quarterback to $60 million. And
from Jerry or somewhere else?
Well, that's the question. And the longer this goes, the more I think he will be playing somewhere else. You know, I just if it continues to drag on and he plays great, and then the Cowboys come in late to say, hey, now we want to pay you. I don't know. I don't know where his head will be at that point. But yeah, so he. When you look at the numbers, if you didn't have the names and you just looked at stats, and again, I go back to I don't care about stats. I just want to see wins. But wins included, you would put Dak Prescott's numbers over the last couple of years along with Patrick Mahomes's. But it's what's happened in the postseason that has separated those two. And so that's where the whole organization has to be better. This isn't just on Dak Prescott. This goes back for the last 25, 30 years, that the Cowboys just have failed to play their best football when the games have mattered most in January.
This past year, was the one, too. You know, I was just watching all those highlights, and I was reliving how we felt about the Cowboys last year, because they're going to be on primetime. Yep. They're going to be talked about. You're going to see them. Last year, there was an entire train that I was on that was like, hey, it's different in Dallas this year.
I was on it.
They had a lot of
I was on it. I agree, Pat. They've had other teams in other years that were good, and I thought they were capable, but last year it just felt different. And quite honestly, it felt different in training camp. And so they then got into the regular season, and it just felt that it had the makings of a championship team. The locker room was tight. They all seemed to be on the same page. All the things, as you know, that are required to win it all. And they were positioned perfectly after the demise of the Eagles over the second half of the season to be put in the position that they were to potentially have 2 home games and then go to, probably San Francisco for the championship game, which is where it would have been. And then they don't get out of the first round. Jordan Love obviously does what he does.
Yeah.
That was a huge disappointment. And so I think it's hard to come back year after year. I think that's going to be the challenge for the 49ers. They keep knocking at the door, and how many times can you keep getting there and getting to the level that you have to get to? And then with the offseason, the way that it has gone for Dallas, there just seems to be a lot of negativity about what they did or didn't do this offseason. And it'll be interesting to see what this season looks like for them.
And then empty bleachers at training camp, Troy. And obviously, I know it's in California and the Chargers. Justin Herbert.
Uh-oh.
Is everything? Yeah, that one's plantar, right? Plantar. That's a real one. Plantar fascia.
Yeah.
That's something in the foot. I don't know exactly what it is, but I know it holds people out. It's a broken something under something. That one's a real one. And I know, like in LA, the Chargers were a big time story. And when Schefter announces this, I think we're all bummed out because we all are eagerly awaiting Jim Harbaugh's return to the NFL sideline, and we're all pumped out how it would go. And now his guy, the guy over there, is seemingly going to be down for a bit. Herbert, Godspeed, buddy.
Yep. Good luck, Herbert.
Godspeed in that entire thing. So I know the training camp is in LA with the Chargers are a story, the Rams are a story, and it's out in California, but like nobody there. That's pretty indicative of like the ride that maybe last year this is it, and then people being like, Has
it ever been like this? Has it ever been like this in Oxnard, Troy? Like I don't remember ever seeing stands this empty.
Ever for the Cowboys anywhere.
Me either.
I'll be honest with you guys. I've not kept up with this one. This is the first I've heard about that. It surprises me, quite honestly.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah, I don't know if I don't know if there's a reason for that or if they just simply didn't come. But that is
maybe traffic, Troy.
Yeah.
Maybe traffic.
Traffic.
That's shocking, quite honestly, to me. And but I will say that if they win, they'll be back on that wagon for sure.
Yeah.
Former Cowboy, Pac-Man Jones.
I've never seen Oxnard empty like that. But back to y'all conversation, I think Dan Quinn deserves some of this blame for Dallas playing like kind of bad at the end of the year. And I do think with Mike Zimmer in there, the defense will be 10 times better.
You played with Zimmer where? Cincy.
Cincy, yeah.
Everybody loves Zimmer, right? The place from except for offensive players on a team in which he's the head coach. Right?
Oh yeah, everything's gonna be done one way, the way he wants you to do it. Anything else, like he's not going for it. You're gonna play fast. You're gonna play a lot smarter, but like he's adamant about doing it the way he wanted to be done.
Excited to see Micah and everybody. That defense obviously incredibly talented, but you got contract conversations all over that roster, including at the head coach. Head coach is on his last year of his contract as well.